Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Adisa Iwa on the line, and he's founder of Ptah Collective, and this episode is part of our AFM, that's American Film Market, series where we bring you the best of those who attended and participated in AFM in Los Angeles, California. Adisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, man. So we got a lot to talk about today. I want to definitely get into your experience at AFM. I want to get into what you're doing at Ptah Collective. And also, I know you talk about the urban film market, which I don't get to talk about enough on this show. So excited to have you on. But before we get into all this, let's get into how you got into the business. Did you always know you wanted to be a filmmaker, or where'd that start for you?
That's a great question. I actually started off in college acting, and I graduated from Morehouse College, which is where Spike Lee and Samuel L. Jackson went to college. So we have a very strong tradition there. And I was getting cast in some pretty high profile things, to be a freshman at Morehouse. And, people were offering me scripts, and I was like, guys, a lot of the scripts I didn't really like. And I was like, I wish somebody would write, better roles for black men to play. And I heard a voice say, why don't you write something? So I decided to write something, and ultimately I wound up writing for, this is ancient history, but NYPD Blue and Dark Angel and Law & Order SVU, all these high-profile TV shows. But it all got started because I started writing because I wanted something that I could star in myself. But I wound up writing for all these TV shows and never wound up acting in it. So years went by, and ultimately I'm living in Marina Del Rey and, issues back home in Atlanta. And I was like, what, something's going to be solved with me just sending money home. So I need to physically be in Atlanta. So I moved back to Atlanta, and I started teaching TV and film at my alma mater, Morehouse College, and at Spelman College, two local schools. And recently I decided to get back on the horse and have been writing and producing and getting ready to direct.
Man, I love that. What a great story. What keeps you, talk about the teaching a bit here, because I'm super interested in that. I love when somebody has that skill set too, and they can transfer, their heart and what they've done and their passion to students. And that could be in anything. Obviously, you happen to be in film and TV, but I've seen historians do this. And I can think about my college professors that had a great impact on me. So what was the teaching part like for you? Tell me about that tool you have in that.
I have loved teaching. I've done it for over 15 years. I'm not doing it currently, but prior to the last year, I was doing it like 15 years straight. And it's been awesome. It's been amazing. And, because I didn't have the benefit of having a professor like me when I was younger. Even though, Spike Lee and all those people graduated from Morehouse, we didn't have our own TV film program at Morehouse until I came back after working in Hollywood, and the school got a grant, and I was part of the team that founded the very first.
Found that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm one of the co-founders of the TV film program at Morehouse College. And so after helping, they heard I was in town, hey, can you help us put the curriculum together? And after that, I said, hey, how do you feel about teaching a class? And that never occurred to me. But so passionate about it because there was so much when I went out to Hollywood that I didn't know. I always tell my students, I want you guys to go faster, further than me. So it was amazing. And I'm going to tell you one of the best parts is that it'll be years after I taught a class, and I'll randomly get an email, a text, a phone call, and it'll be a kid. Sometimes it was a kid who didn't even say anything in class. And he'll say, hey, I just want to say how much you helped me. I want to say thank you for everything you taught me. Now I'm, in this position to Marvel, or I'm working at CAA or whatever. Wow. You know what I mean? And it's the coolest feeling in the world to impact people in a positive way.
Man, I'm going to start a podcast class. You just inspire me. I've been thinking about this. I got a book I put out, and I'm like, hop in, and I know I've been doing this stuff for so long. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back.
Do it. This is your sign to do it.
Michigan State University, if you're listening.
There you go.
But wait a minute, I live in L.A., so it's going to be a virtual class.
You're originally from the Midwest?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I was born in Gary, Indiana. So yeah.
Oh, there you go. I'm like, Michigan State, if you're listening, it's going to be virtual enough. Oh man, this is great. Well, let's get into and thanks for sharing that, because I love it, and it's just a testament of people like and in founding and pioneering and getting things done, and just the people, the lives you'll affect. I love what you said. Like, now I'm at Marvel, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that, and you touch that, so that's wonderful. To all the teachers out there and professors. Well, let's get into what you're doing present day. So, AFM, I know you were there this year. What brought you out? Like, how was your experience? Talk to me.
So, Ptah Collective is actually a group of people. So it's myself, is Ron Sullivan, it's Raynal Shaka Harris, and it's Raheem Mander and myself. And so we all met at college at Morehouse. And we decided
those lifelong friends, like it sounds like it, huh?
100%.
Wow.
And so we have two projects currently. So the first one, we shot our first independent film this past summer, and we signed a distribution deal for it.
By the way, that's amazing. Congrats on just shooting it. First off, like congrats.
No, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know how difficult it can do a feature film, and so especially because it was our first time, doing something like this. So we, used our own money, a script we wrote, we cast, we did everything ourselves in-house.
Wow.
We found an amazing director named Lamore who came to one of the events we threw, and we signed a distribution deal for it, like right around the time of AFM. Right around that time, we signed a distribution deal. So that would be, it's called Unplugged. It's a found footage horror movie. It'll be out in 2026. And then we have another project called HBCU Superheroes, which is, we actually got a deal from, I don't want to say the studio, but a major studio that everybody knows. They offered us a deal, but they wanted to buy the whole IP, and they wanted to do a TV series, but we couldn't agree on the numbers. They wanted to buy the whole. We know the IP is worth several $1 million, millions and millions, and they didn't want to match the millions that we thought it was worth. And so we went back and forth for probably a month, and ultimately we were like, okay, we can't make a deal with these guys. So that's another project that we're probably going to wind up doing it. Well, I don't know. You never know. We may wind up doing it independently. We may find someone else to partner with, but we're really excited about that. That one has a huge following. So I kind of got lost.
Yeah.
What's the question?
So AFM. So you were there?
Yeah.
I mean, like, experience? Talk to me about it. Yeah.
You're
killing it. I'm
AFM. So this is my second time. This is my second time attending AFM, and it's an amazing experience. And anyone who wants to understand or participate in the business of television and film, I encourage them to come. Number one, the panel discussions, they're so informative. There's so much to learn. And in TV and film, things are constantly changing. You can't just like, oh, I went 10 years ago, now I'm good. Like, you and I know things change on a daily basis, and it's really important to have someone in your camp to go and be plugged into what's going on right now. So that element of it. And then, of course, the networking. So between the knowledge that you attain, the networking, and then, of course, you have people there who are buying and selling product. But then just, you can't do a TV show or a movie by yourself. You got to have a team. It's so many people. And you're going to meet all kinds of people there that you vibe with that you could help them and they can help you. So it's amazing spirit, camaraderie, vibe, all that. And the information is top notch and the networking is stellar.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that, and I think it was one of the fun things for me about AFM is everybody's kind of in the same room from many different parts of the industry, from everything from the sales to the distribution to the the creatives to the writers, right? It's kind of like everybody's there, so it's kind of fun because I feel like the variety of conversations you're going to have is just different. It's just different than other places you go to. Did you kind of experience that, or?
I did. And it's so cool, like, being amongst your tribe, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, we're all from different parts of the world, not just different parts of America, but, obviously,
right?
Obviously there's a bunch of people that are from LA, but, I met people from India and from Asia and Africa.
I got some Bollywood ones. They thought I was Indian. I'm like, I could be Indian. That's my doctor. Well, the other co-founder here, he's Indian. I'm like, I'll be Indian. What else? Like, come on.
You know what I'm saying? But even though we're from different cultures and different parts of the world, we all have in common film.
Yeah. So it really is a unifier. Cool. That's a good point. I haven't heard anybody else put it that way. It is a unifier. I love that. Let's get a little bit into the film market itself. So urban film market versus mainstream. Like how do you want to tee this one up?
Well, the thing about so urban film is obviously a subset of just film in general. So there's some things that are just common across the board. You want to have compelling characters and, and something that your audience is entertained by.
Yeah.
To me, there are two things that pop out immediately that are different. Number one, urban audiences tend to over-index on film, meaning that we consume movies, television at a higher rate than other demographics do. There are a lot of reasons why that might be, but it's a fact. And I remember I was talking to Reuben Cannon, and if you don't know who he is, he's an amazing trailblazer in film in the African American community. But he's just a legend in the game. And he told me one time, he said, you have to almost try to lose money if you're, producing content for an African-American audience, because we over-index and we're so loyal to seeing stuff that has that's a reflection of us. So there's that. But then the other part of it too is that from a personal, everyone doesn't feel this way, but I feel this way, is that because, ever since we got off the slave ships in America, some of us have succeeded and some of us have been dragged down by the vestiges of that. You can still see, people who you could trace it back. So why are these people in poverty? You could trace it all the way back to that dysfunction from slavery in this particular family. And that cycle, that chain never got broken. Now you could say why it wasn't, but it's a fact. So my point of bringing it up is that I do feel like we have as filmmakers of color, that I'm speaking for myself. I have a responsibility to not just put out any old thing. It has to be something where, number one, it has to make money, but two, it has to be some sort of a benefit. And it doesn't have to be something that's preachy or anything like that, but it can't be something that's going to be destructive, because I feel like we've had enough, destruction in our community already. And, and even sometimes with some of the art that we consume, I'm a big, huge hip hop fan. Tupac Shakur is my favorite artist of all time. But there's some elements of current hip hop, that are, really dangerous to the culture. So same thing with film and anything else. I have to ask myself, okay, am I part of the solution or am I part of the problem with this project that I'm putting out? So.
Yeah, and the business side of this, like getting films made, like talk to me about that part. Is it different pitching urban versus mainstream versus, because I haven't gone too far, but I'm from Michigan, I'm from Detroit, so I've consumed the content, like I understand that piece of it, but I've never seen on the part of trying to create a film in the urban market or anything like that. So I'm just curious on that piece of it, like how's that perceived?
Yeah, I feel like it's a double-edged sword. I feel like, there are some rooms where it's a benefit and some rooms where it's a complete non-starter. So you have to be really careful. And, when you really think about it, I guess it's almost, you could apply it across the board no matter what your genre is, that you have to align yourself with people who understand your genre can make money. I remember a time when they were like, hey, black movies don't travel overseas. And so the big studios were really hesitant to do anything with a black lead. And there's some of that. There's a tiny bit of it still around, but for the most part, the really smart executives know, we can make a lot of money if we put something out to this audience, and if we're in our marketing and our casting and everything else, that we're mindful that we have people of color who over-index on movies and want to go see movies. And so if I have a big blockbuster or what I think is going to be a tentpole, I probably want to have at least one or two people of color in it, because they see themselves in the advertising, they're going to go see it. But if they don't see themselves, they won't. So you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't have a broad mind about these sort of things.
Yeah, I just saw that. How they were talking on that. What was it? The Eddie Murphy. I don't know if it's a limited series or documentary, or how you'd want to say it, on Netflix. And he was talking about he was the first, and when he kind of broke down some of those barriers before, they were for that myth 100%. Of you can't make a film with the black lead, and then they kind of broke down the walls for a Denzel or some of the other famous.
100%.
I was like, wow, I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. For me, Beverly Hills Cop was just an amazing freaking, movie. And come on, the iconic Lions jacket, that's just takes me to my childhood.
Right.
I remember, but I didn't realize what was actually happening. And looking at that, and I'm like, wow. And then just the opportunities and the people that were able to follow up after him. That's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, and he stood on people's shoulders before him, the City Portiers of the world, so on and so forth. And each generation, you try to go a little bit further.
So what's next for you, man? So what are you working on? What's next for you?
So, great. Thanks for asking. Number one, the HBCU Superheroes Project, we have a really strong following. And again, we got that offer from the major studio, but we couldn't come to terms because they wanted to buy the IP for less than what we thought it was worth. So we are definitely looking for someone to partner with us on that. We have a huge following with it, and our demographic loves it. And it's going to make someone, extremely wealthy when they partner with us. So that's number one. Then we have Unplugged, which is going to be coming out in 2026. And we have another feature film we're going to be shooting this summer. That's an action thriller. So, those are the things that we have currently in front of us.
That's awesome. Well, this has been a lot of fun talking to you today, Adisa, and getting to know more about your work and Ptah Collective. That being said, if somebody's listening or watching this and they want to follow up, they want to learn more, they want to connect, how do they do that?
Hey, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you so much. And if anyone wants to contact me or learn more about what we're doing or what I'm doing, I'm at Adisa Iwa at everything. So Instagram, Gmail, everything. So it's ADISA IWA at Gmail, at Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever. That's where you can find me.
Awesome. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new experiences to help you along the way on your journey as well. Again, you heard it right. It's a daily show. We got plenty of things planned for you coming up, and we don't want you to miss a thing. Hit that subscribe or follow button. And Adisa, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been amazing, and much success to everything you do. Thank you so much.